at all?
Yeah.
Have you read anything about it? Yeah, what have you read? What do you know? Telltale Heart, yeah. Anything else with Raven? Yeah, so you guys are a little bit familiar with Poe's style. Okay, so I'm just going to read this poem aloud for you. So if you want to flip to the side just with Annabelle Lee on it. So we'll worry about the worksheet part later. Yeah. Okay, so we're just going to look at this right away. And I'm going to read it out loud, and then we're going to go stanza by stanza and really analyze it. When I read it out loud, I would like if you guys could star, so you can annotate it by yourself. You can star the things that you think are beautiful, the true beautiful love. This is kind of a sweet love poem maybe. So put a little star next to the things that you guys think are true and beautiful as we're reading it. And then if there's anything that strikes you as like really odd or strange, I want you to put a question mark right next to it. And then anything that you, like words or phrases that pop out to you, things that are interesting, maybe words that you don't know the definition of, I just want you to underline those words and phrases. And then we can go from there and really like work on figuring out what this poem means. And then eventually we're going to focus on the figurative language within it. And we're going to try, if we have time, to do a quick activity with it as well. So I'm going to start reading. This is Annabelle Lee by Edgar Allan Poe. It was many and many a year ago, in a kingdom by the sea, that a maiden there lived, whom you may know by the name of Annabelle Lee. And this maiden she lived with no other thought than to love and be loved by me. I was a child, and she was a child, in this kingdom by the sea, but we loved with a love that was more than love, I and my Annabelle Lee, with a love that winged seraphs of heaven coveted her and me. And this was the reason that, long ago, in this kingdom by the sea, a wind blew out of a cloud, chilling my beautiful Annabelle Lee. So her high-born kinsman came and bore her away from me, to shut her up in a sepulchre in this kingdom by the sea. The angels, not so happy in heaven, went envying her and me. Yes, that was the reason, as all men know, in this kingdom by the sea. That the wind came out of a cloud by night, chilling and killing my Annabelle Lee. But our love was stronger by far than the love of those who were older than we, of many far wiser than we, and neither the angels in heaven above nor the demons down under the sea can ever dissever my soul from the soul of the beautiful Annabelle Lee. For the moon never beams without bringing me dreams of the beautiful Annabelle Lee. And the stars never rise but I feel the bright eyes of the beautiful Annabelle Lee. And so, all by the night tide, I lie down by the side of my darling, my life and my bride, in her sepulchre there by the sea, in her tomb by the sounding sea. So, if you flip over to the front page, you guys don't need to keep flipping back and forth. I'm just going to read some of these questions out to you, and maybe you can underline where they are in the poem, or if you want to, write them down next to it, but we'll go over all of it together. So, what is the setting of this poem? Kingdom by the sea, and the time? Medieval, but like, what does he say? Like, what was that? Long time ago, right? Many and many a year ago. So, the first question there, what is the setting? Would be many and many a year ago in the kingdom by the sea. So, or you could write first two lines. Okay, so let's just go through this first stanza. Is there anything that you guys put like little stars next to that you thought were sweet or that reminded you of a love poem? Any areas? Did you guys use it at all in that first stanza? Yeah.
Well, he says, then love and be loved by me.
Yeah, and
he's
so,
like,
sorry, what did you say?
He basically says, she lived with no other thought but then to be loved by me. So it's basically just comparing his love for her.
Yeah, he's saying like, we were so in love, like it was awesome.
I kind of marked that one as off.
Why?
Because he said that she had no other thought besides that. And that, to me, just like, he kind of strange.
Yeah, that he would assume that she only thinks about loving him. Yeah, that is a little bit strange. That's an interesting point. Kyra's point is interesting too. Okay, so yeah, I think those are both really good insights to have about that first stanza. Let's move on to the second one. The third question is in this stanza. So what is the line that addresses the age of the two lovers? What age are they? Child? Mrs. Sutton and I were debating about whether they were actually children or not. Yeah, so Mrs. Sutton says that when you're young and you're in love and you get older and you look back at that and you're like, that's really foolish. Like you might have been a teenager maybe, but you weren't a child. And I said that if you don't regret the love, then maybe you wouldn't consider yourself a child and you would have said that was a really mature love. So I guess that's maybe up for you guys to interpret. But yeah, he does say that they are children. So either children at heart or physically children, that's what that means. They were young at least. So, what else? The repetition of the kingdom by the sea is really important. It's kind of hypnotic, right? This repetition, like we keep hearing it, very interesting. Let's jump down to the end of that second stanza. With the lobs of the winged seraphs of heaven. What are seraphs? Is anybody familiar with that word, seraphs? We can use the context clues to kind of figure it out. So with the lobs of the winged seraphs of heaven. Angels. Yep. So he talks about angels. He's bringing something heavenly into this poem. And then he says that the angels did something mysterious, which is that they coveted their love. What does coveted mean?
It's like an unhealthy desire for it.
Yeah, and so I used the example in last class, like, if you have an iPhone, let's say you have an iPhone, and I want your iPhone, like, I don't want a iPhone, like, just another one or one that looks like, I would literally want the one you have, because it's yours. And that's what he's saying that the angels are doing, like, they want Annabelle Lee, because it's the narrator's, he's hers, and he is upset by this, clearly. So moving on to the next stanza, and this was the reason that long ago, in a kingdom by the sea, a wind blew out of a cloud, chilling my beautiful Annabelle Lee. What is he writing about right here? What's happened to Annabelle? I'll keep reading.
She's getting cold.
That's what I thought was odd because, like, I think he's kind of meaning like she's dying.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like slowly, or like she's just starting to realize or something. But I don't
Yeah.
understand that. I
So
thought it was odd.
what, have you guys heard of like stages of grief before? Like, when you grieve something, like you don't necessarily like admit that it's happened yet, and that's one of the first steps, right? So maybe right here, because the next couple lines in the stanza say that her highborn kinsman came and bore her away from me and shut her up in a sepulcher. What's a sepulcher? Do you guys know what that is? What was that? No, not quite. What? So if Tyra's right about the chilling kind of killing her, then what would a sepulcher be, and why would they shut her up? A tomb. Yeah. So we know from this stanza, although he doesn't say it, that she's in a tomb. You don't put people who are alive in a tomb, and so she has clearly died. And yet he doesn't admit it. That's a really interesting like thing to point out there. Are there any like areas that you put question marks or stars next to in this stanza? No? Okay, I want to focus on this highborn kinsman. When I first read this, I underlined it. What's a kinsman? Like, what's your kin? Who are they?
You're next in line, right?
Next in line, so kinsman, or it just could be like family. So like these people that are her relatives. And what does it mean to be highborn? Older. What else?
Have like a godlike power.
Godlike power. Think about it in terms of like wealth. Like if I'm born into like highborn society, what does that mean about me?
Wealthy.
I'm wealthy, right? Okay, so if you're wealthy, if you're highborn, and I'm also highborn, would I refer to you and your kin as highborn? If I was also highborn?
No.
Probably not, right? Because we're at the same level, right? Like I wouldn't refer, if somebody had the same amount of money as me, I wouldn't ever mention their money because it's not something that matters to me. But here the narrator is like, yeah, so then her highborn kinsman came. What does it say about the narrator? He might be poor, he might not have as much social status, so maybe there's a little bit of tension going on in their relationship with their family, and then the kinsman, they bore her away from him, and he's upset by this, you know, like, why would they do that? Why would they take her away from me? So let's move on to the next stanza, the fourth stanza. Now he addresses the angels again. So the angels, not so happy in heaven, went envying her and me. Yes, that was the reason, as all men know, in this kingdom by the sea, that the wind came out of the cloud by night, chilling and killing my Annabelle Lee. So what's important about this stanza? What does the narrator do in this stanza?